don't discriminate.
You are adorable.
Thank you. So are you. You're beautiful.
Thank
Come on, people.
I know a bit of your story. You were born, your single mom raised you west side of Philly. People say that fame and money doesn't change you, it changes everybody around you. Is everybody acting funny around you now? Oh my gosh.
You know?
What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filly. You're a big old and they're making your son out to be. She wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was.
And that's my young boy. See, this is what I'm saying. This is how we do. He says Uncle Will. He says Uncle Will. I know. We need to start right here. This is how we kick.
Being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, you know, bullshit sometimes, and, you know, that's the only thing that I hate about it.
Wendy Williams is stepping into the chat again amidst the recent allegations against Will Smith, allegedly touching on young men in the industry. And let me just say, I now understand why they felt so threatened by her, that they literally got her sick and threw her in a facility. Wendy has information for days about these folks, the kind of information that they seriously wouldn't want coming out. Remember when she invited Bryshere to her show and asked him this?
Yeah.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
But you have a lot of associates, is what we call them.
Yeah, I have a lot of associates. I don't discriminate women.
Did you see the pause Bryshere gave before answering the question? You could see the fear in his eyes, almost as if he knew Wendy deliberately brought that up because she had heard something behind the scenes about his sexuality and wanted to confirm it. At the time, it sounded like a regular question, but new receipts are claiming that Wendy intentionally asked him because she got word that Will and Diddy were allegedly slimming him out under the guise of a mentorship. And guess what? His mama knew about it, but let it continue happening because she was getting paid and even got promised a book deal.
My help, I told her to get away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him.
Now, in case you're wondering why the hell she'd let her son go through all this, it boiled down to one thing: money. Surprise, surprise. You see, when Bryshere was only 17, he got pulled into a mentorship setup with Will and Diddy through his manager Charlie Mack. But listen, zero actual mentorship went down during his time there. Diddy was supposedly going to be his music mentor, teaching him how to level up his music since Bryshere wanted to rap. And Will would help polish his acting chops, since this was around when he blew up on Empire and was starting to land other roles.
And you were an actor, you were a rapper in real life. Explain how this all came about.
Well, I was real serious with my rapping career before Empire. I was rapping for since I was 16 years old, and my mom, we would pack up a small Toyota Camry and go to Michigan, go to North Carolina, and perform to schools, you know, talk to the kids. And from there, my manager, he found out about Empire.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to act, you know. I was like, look, I'm focused on being an MC.
Okay.
I'm trying to perform.
Okay.
So I took it serious, I did it. And from there, like they say, it's the rest is history.
But according to Jaguar Wright, Diddy and Will supposedly turned Bryshere into their personal plaything and used him against his will for years. The real mentorship he thought he was getting never existed. Jaguar even said the freak-offs would sometimes get so crazy that Bryshere would try escaping, but they'd just grab him and drag him back to keep going. Similar to what Diddy used to do to Cassie. Jaguar claims one incident involved Bryshere and Meek Mill being heard fleeing from Will's place with nothing on, screaming for help because Will and Jada had them in freak-offs for hours straight with no intention of stopping. And given that Cassie recently confirmed the freak-offs would sometimes go on for up to 4 days straight, these stories seemed credible to a lot of folks.
Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Terrence Howard added more fuel to the fire when he jumped in and basically backed up that the reason Bryshere is how he is now is that he got exploited by Diddy and Will. During a recent sit-down, He mentioned there were young men getting used in the industry under the guise of mentorships and acting deals, and that once those men let other men take advantage of them, they were permanently changed.
When you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So
some folks weren't feeling Terrence's remarks because they came across somewhat homophobic, but others said he had a point, because immediately after Bryshere got mixed up with Diddy and Will was when everything went downhill. He basically got blackballed and spiraled into heavy substance use.
Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
But listen to this, y'all. It's now being rumored that while he was locked up, Diddy allegedly paid off some people to intimidate him. Supposedly, he wanted to destroy Bryshere, and having him gang threatened by multiple men in jail was one of the quickest ways he could accomplish that. Sadly for Bryshere, even after he got released, he wasn't really free because shortly after, he got arrested again. And when he was behind bars, Diddy supposedly had him gang for a second time. Around the time news of these jail attacks started blowing up online, Jaguar showed up in an interview. And this time, she was even more heated than the first time she discussed Bryshere. She blamed Charlie Mack and Bryshere's mom, Andrea, for working together to sell Bryshere out to be used, broken down, and blackballed.
Say, Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your in and I'ma go to work North Philly style, bitch. F you and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. F you. You CI bitch. I'm sorry. Jimmy, that came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay. You and Charlie Mack.
Jaguar also stated that after Cassie filed her case, Bryshere was also meeting with attorneys to sue Will and Diddy, but he supposedly got threatened and had to back off because his life was at risk. Jaguar even went so far as to claim there's a secret recording of Justin Bieber, Will, Jaden, Diddy, and Bryshere in a freak-off, and she's among the handful of people who've watched it.
See, they trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filly. You're a big old and they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry, the Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his book.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Don't nobody care about these kids. Don't nobody care about these kids.
Now, regarding the specific lawsuit she's referencing, folks think it's the $50 million case against Diddy and Will that Bryshere was reportedly building. This case got mentioned in a blind item that stated, "I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of SA by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so. Sean Diddy Combs." Now, it's unclear what exactly Wendy knew about Will and Bryshere, but, girl, whatever it was enough for them to allegedly pull some strings to end her. Apparently, Will and Diddy sent Ray J to do Wendy like he allegedly helped them do Wendy. These rumors started when Ray J got into it with Stunna Girl, and she went off on him, exposing him for receiving payments from someone higher up in the industry to get rid of Wendy Williams. She claimed he was the one supplying her with the life-threatening substances that she was hooked on before her illness. You know, just like how he was allegedly supplying it to Whitney, she said. Instead of constantly being worried about me, Ray J needs to focus on what he did to Wendy Williams. She ain't been the same since you took her on that binge, gang. Now, this didn't end when Wendy was sent to a facility. Oh no. The intention was for them to get rid of Wendy. So guess what they did? They allegedly sent Ray J to the facility she was in to make sure she was still getting access to the exact things that were destroying her, so they could finish what they started. In fact, these paparazzi people ended up catching photos of Ray J visiting Wendy at the facility she was in at the time, and taking her to an undisclosed location. And let's not forget that Wendy's doctor literally said the reason her illness was getting worse was because of the substances she was taking. Thankfully, it looks like Wendy was able to get out of this mess, and she's doing well now. But that also means she's now in a better place to reveal the things they tried to stop her from saying, and that's exactly what she's doing now. In fact, it's been rumored that the reason Sherri Shepherd's show was canceled was that Wendy was making a return to daytime television. And baby, if these rumors are true, then she'll be doing a lot of talking when she comes back, not only about Bryshere, but about everything else she knew before getting locked up. As usual, people had their thoughts, like this person, who said, Bryshere went through the emasculating ritual just to end up nowhere in the end. Another person said, this is so sad. Hollywood is truly awful. I am upset at the individuals who ruined this young man's life. The industry is so dark and twisted. I don't even understand why they think this is entertaining. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Wendy coming out to reveal all this now? And do you really think Will did all these things to Bryshere? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.